So what do you call yourself? Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Hey.
Hey, what can I do for you this fine day?
This is your destiny. Hot, hot, hot. Right now.
Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Kick it.
Come on in and enjoy yourself.
Right now.
We gon' party like no one else. Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
LaTangela, hi.
Good morning, sunshine. How y'all doing?
Hey, good morning. How you doing, LaTangela?
Excellent. Even better now that I have the both of you in the hot seat and on the tan line. I see that they got you up and added early today, right?
It's all good. It's all good.
No.
Great cause.
We have kids, we have young kids, so this is not early for us.
Okay, you're on your second or third string of the day, really.
Right. Matt and I we share that. We share our kids' stories every morning. Yes.
I love it. You know, I think that's the next project. Dear Dad, help us, help us.
Yes,
That one. I think it'll be entertaining, right? Just as
Yes,
much
for
as
sure.
the documentary films that you've been working on, and A King Like Me, streaming now on Netflix with these two brilliant masterminds that decided to put together this cohesive piece to help tell a story of a culture, tell a story of, I guess you could say, be the voice of the voiceless. They're seen, they're heard, but often misunderstood. So tell me a little bit about the project itself, and how did this land on your radar?
Yeah, you want to start, Fisher?
Yeah, sure. So in 2019, I directed a movie called Palmer with Justin Timberlake down in New Orleans. And a friend of mine named Matthew Dillon took me to a club called the Zulu Social Aid and Pleasure Club in New Orleans. And I loved it, had a great time. And then COVID hits and Palmer comes out, and I saw that many members of the club had died quickly from COVID, way too many for the normal population of the United States. I called Matt. I said, Matt, you want to come down here? You want to come down to New Orleans? I think we can film with these guys. Matt and I hopped in a car, height of COVID, and we drove down and started interviewing a bunch of the members, including Terrence Rice, who became the star of the film. And obviously, the film turned into a much bigger story than COVID. And then Matt, I said, are you okay with just keeping filming? And Matt and I live in Brooklyn, New York, but Matt kept going down to New Orleans, and Matt, you could take it from there. That's where we just started digging into this incredible story about this incredible club.
Yeah, taking it back to that first trip, you know, we drove from New York to New Orleans. You know, it was three of us in a car. It took us about 20 hours to get there. And, you know, the month leading up until that filming back in June of 2020, you know, we were talking with Zulu members. We were being embedded over Zoom with the participants that we were going to be speaking to. And then when we got down there, you have to remember, you know, this is the first summer of COVID, and this is a month after George Floyd was murdered. You know, so we sat down over the course of about a day and a half, 2.5 days and we sat down with 16 members of the community, you know, Zulu members as well as community members and just individuals who were tangentially connected to the Zulu community. And, you know, to comment on how you started the interview, you know, like a voice of the voiceless, you know, I think what we experienced were 16 quality interviews that were anywhere between 60 minutes to 2 hours long of individuals who were ripe and raw and ready to share their experience. You know, may not have been all for the opportunity to do so in front of a camera, but we're now willing and able and eager to share their struggles, but also their successes and the beauty of what New Orleans is. It's culture, it's beauty, it's music, it's food, you know, but it's also community.
Absolutely. And I love a good story behind the story. People will see this documentary and they'll hear the stories being told, but about the three creatives in the car taking a field trip in the height of COVID. I can only imagine, you know, like the thought process of, hey, are we sure we want to go? Because we see what we're facing. It's important enough for us to keep driving, for us to keep getting those stories, for us to keep filming. Now, I have to ask, how was it that you decided what would hit the cutting room floor? Because all of it had to.
Man, it was so difficult. Between Fisher and I, we filmed over the course of about 4 years down there. We have terabytes upon terabytes of footage sitting in hard drives. So there was so much that is still sitting on the cutting room floor. Enough for probably 2 more movies, but I don't know about that one. But
I think character, right? We focused on character.
Always.
And Terrence Rice, who's our main guy, and the Zulu Club, were our kind of beacons. Would you say, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, Fisher, you told me that throughout this entire process, being a film where it's my directorial debut, I had amazing mentorship and leadership from Fisher throughout this project. And the thing that he told me throughout, amongst many things that stuck with me, is follow your characters. Your characters will tell you what's next. It's difficult because as a director, but also I filmed so much of this myself. You fall in love with scenes and moments, that seem important and seem beautiful, but then you sit down in the edit with them, and the film will tell you where it needs to go. I love this quote, and I use it often. This idea of, it's a fairly famous filmmaker named D.A. Pennebaker who gave this quote: "Shoot what you find, not what you expect to find." And so that's what we did. We went down there and we captured life. We didn't try to imprint our beliefs or our thoughts on this culture. We just allowed the culture to speak to us, and that's what's on the screen.
That's important. And that's the level of expertise that you both bring. Stranger when it comes to the world of entertainment. Henderson, you've had your share of awards and your bodies of works that's been awarded. And same for you, Mr. Stevens. It's just like when you both get together and you still say it's iron sharpening iron, and you find these gems and these jewels like you did in New Orleans. I feel some type of way that it was for years and years and years, and I didn't get the chance to see you, but I understand. So whenever it's time for part 2 and part 3 and part 4, we're here for beignets. It's going to be
definitely
because we're on the other side of this. What is it that you really want the public, as they're viewing this for the first time and they're being introduced to New Orleans, they're being introduced to the Zulu Social Pleasure Club, they're being introduced to the life of those who are telling the story? What is it that you want us to walk away with?
That's a great question. For me, one of the things that was so important throughout this process is that at the completion of this film, what the audience walks away with is an authentic portrayal of New Orleans life, New Orleans culture, New Orleans community, New Orleans family, which is one that I was brought directly into throughout the course of making this film. It was so important, and I said this a little while ago, that the voice of New Orleans speaks in this film. Not my voice, not Fisher's voice, not the filmmakers that are working on this. Our DNA is kind of interwoven within the fabric of this film, but the voice that speaks in this film are native New Orleanians. So I think for me, that's one of the most important things. And then also to challenge preconceived notions, of cultural ideas that you may not understand. But at the end of this film, you walk away with a greater appreciation of what went into creating this incredibly storied and beautiful organization.
I love it. What about you, Fisher?
Well, for me, my experience was I had been to New Orleans many times, but I really had a very touristy kind of jazz festy point of view. Wanted people to understand that it's much deeper than that. It's not just about Bourbon Street and that. I wanted people to have a real experience of what it is like to have been an African American in America at the turn of the century, and get a bit of a history lesson, and then bring it up to speed with middle class and upper middle class Black Americans today, and through the eyes of these incredible characters that we discovered. And as Matt said, it wasn't like Matt and I's point of view so much as we let them tell their stories. I learned so much making this film about being an American, about what the journeys that these people experienced, and about the history of your city and your state. And I was just blown away. And I think people have come up to Matt and I, hugging us after these screenings, going, "Thank you for giving us our voice, a voice that we rarely get to have out there in the world." And so we're so proud of this movie, even though it blood, sweat, and tears. And Matt worked his butt off for 5 years, but
You survived it with a smile and a true story to tell. And I'm looking for part 2, part 3, part 4, because I know it's all on the way. And look, the next time you get here, I've been practicing. Wait. Oh, don't leave me. How was that? I got time to work on it. Just, for the next film. Wait a second. That wasn't a laughing moment. What are you doing?
I know. We need to work a little bit on it, but I think it's quite good. I think it's quite good. No.
That's okay. We're here for it right now. You know what? Like me, it's available and streaming right now on Netflix. Get here soon. I know you have more work to do, so I'm gonna let you chase the sun or let the sun chase you. But either way, get after it. I love y'all, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
Thank you, LaTangela.
We want to have another big screening in NOLA, so we'll let you know.
I'm there.
Okay.
Field trip.
Great.
There you go.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.